I'm not always the kind of guy to say I told you so, but I told you so. I told you what was going to happen in this Indiana Alabama game, that this was going to be 100% a beatdown. This was going to be a beatdown of epic proportions. And I also talked to you about the fact, and just so we are clear, Alabama gets beat by Indiana. Excuse me, Indiana beats Alabama 38-3. And I told you that this was going to confuse the college football mind because people were like, oh my God, there is no way Alabama can't get beat by Indiana. No chance. No chance. And I was like, you sure about that? You sure about that? Because it has been absolutely it is confusing because Indiana is one of the worst college football programs of all time. And people are used to, yeah, you got Cincinnati making the playoff, you got, TCU making it, but it wasn't a sustained thing. It was just a 1 year, one hit wonder. Everything played out perfectly for them. And then they got in the playoff and they got smoked. Indiana last year, they played against Notre Dame, opening round. They get smoked. Everybody's like, okay, cool. This is who Indiana is. Indiana is overrated. Well, Kurt Cignetti has shown everybody that one of these things ain't like the other. He has also shown that, and this is why fan bases have gotten a little bit frustrated over the last, especially Alabama's fan base, USC's fan base. Kurt Cignetti is the reason why they are upset. In 2 years, he has Indy Freaking Ana in the college football semifinals. USC is on year 4, and you still haven't gotten anywhere yet. You're still just hoping upon hope, and you're looking at the 2026 schedule, and you're like, oh my God, he's the reason why LSU fired Brian Kelly. The same reason why Auburn fired their head coach. Same reason why all of these schools are firing their head coaches is because of Kurt Cignetti. He is doing something in a short period of time, and it needs to be studied. I have consistently said if you put good coaching with irrational belief, because if you ask Fernando Mendoza, you ask Hemby, you ask D'Angelo Pons, you ask anybody on that Indiana team if they believe that they can win every single time that they go out there, and they're like, yes. And then the best part about them is that they do not let up. When they get you down, oh, they will kick you while you are down. They are not just going to kick you. They're going to stomp you. They're going to throw dirt on you. They are not going to give you any reason. Like, they demoralized you. They took Alabama's soul today. They took their soul. You know when I knew that this game was over? I knew that I'm going to give you the exact timestamp of when I knew that this game was over. This game was over in the second quarter. This game was over in the second quarter when Indiana was up 3-0. 3-0. Alabama had the ball. They got the kickoff with 14 minutes and 57 seconds left. So this is the beginning of the second quarter. They're down 3-0. 0-yard run, 2-yard run, 7-yard run. And you're like, okay, punt the football. It is 12 minutes and 44 seconds to go in the second quarter. And Kalen DeBoer is acting like it's desperation mode already. At that point in time, I said, if Indiana gets a stop here on fourth down, this game is 100% over. They got the stop. And mind you, Alabama was on their own when they went for it. They were on their own 34-yard line, down 3-0 at the very beginning of the second quarter, not the third quarter, not the fourth quarter, and it was a 3-0 game. I was like, oh, if they get stopped right here, it's over because Indiana is going to score a touchdown. which they did, it was going to be 10-0. It was going to be over because Alabama. The fact that Kalen DeBoer was desperate at the beginning of the second quarter, down 3-0. That was an emotional decision. And if you watch the Oregon video after the Texas Tech game, I told everybody Dan Lanning's fourth down decisions are pretty much all determined pre-game. It is situational. I mean, obviously, if you get down and then that's totally different. But I'm talking about a normal game script. Fourth downs are predetermined. There is no way in hell that down 3-0, backed up in your own territory, that Kalen DeBoer had it planned that they were going to go for it on fourth down. And especially with a situation where his team cannot run the football. And it is insanity that you are that Alabama, like, it's not insanity. It confuses the mind to even possibly think about that Alabama is vaunted Alabama and they can't run the football to save their life. Alabama today, 17 carries for 23 yards. And you know what? That's not even surprising. That is exactly why I picked Indiana to boat race them, because at no point in time has Alabama been able to run the football. They're 120th in the nation in running the football. There are Sun Belt teams better at running the football than Alabama. Think about it. They couldn't even put together 200 yards against, the FCS teams on their schedules running the football. This is an inherent problem of Kalen DeBoer's system and Ryan Grubb. Even when he was at Washington, they didn't run, and they made the national championship. They didn't run the ball exceptionally. They ran the ball okay. They were timely with runs, but they were not a good running football team. They might as well be an air raid team with the way that they can run the football. Sometimes they can, sometimes they can't. And there is no shortage of talent on this Alabama team. They have the most talented roster in college football this year. They're tied with Ohio State with 89 or 90% of their players as 4- and 5-star players, and you get beat by Indiana. But the difference is this. The blue chip rankings and everything else, you cannot calculate these things the way that you used to, because you got guys who transferred from James Madison who were 2-star guys, 3-star guys going to James Madison. But now they're really 4- and 5-star guys because Elijah Surratt is going to the NFL. But D'Angelo Ponds is going to the NFL. Omar Cooper probably going to at least get something in the NFL. Fernando Mendoza, not highly recruited, going to the NFL. Him being Kalen Black, going to the NFL. They ran the ball 50 times for 215 yards. Do you know how demoralizing that is? Fernando Mendoza was 14 for 16 for 192 today and 3 touchdowns. It was the run game. They just lined up at Alabama and was like, we're better than you. We're tougher than you. We are stronger than you. We are going to manhandle you and take that. So anybody thinking that this was going to work, it was not. And this is exactly why Michigan getting Kyle Whittingham just elevates the Big Ten so much. Because to be able to win a national championship, you have to, at some point in time in football, you have to line up and say, I'm running through your mofo face. I'm running through your mick and fickin' face. That's it. That's what you have to be able to line up and do it. And they cannot. But this Indiana team absolutely can. And this deep there, and the guys who I talked about showed up. Charlie Becker, first touchdown today. Omar Cooper, Surratt. Their wide receivers are not, they don't have the name brands of Jeremiah Smith or Jeremy Bernard, Ryan Williams, or Malachi Tony at Miami. They don't have the name brand players, but you know what? They got name brand heart. They got name brand coaching. And this Indiana defense, they do something very similar to what Texas Tech does. They don't play a lot of nickel and dime. They're not going to sub out of their packages a lot. They are going to play at least two linebackers in there, a lot of times three, and they can get pressure with their front four, and then they are going to do an excellent job. Now, Texas Tech didn't do as much of that against Oregon, but Indiana, they were able to confuse Dante Moore when they played. They confused Ty Simpson today. They got pressure because they simulate blitzes. They make you account for people in the protection that aren't coming, and then they bring them from somewhere else. That is going to be the chess match, Oregon versus Indiana, for the second time around. Can Oregon decipher these blitzes? Because Indiana's not going to play man coverage that very often. It is not going to happen. They are going to play zone coverage. And the question is, can you figure out the zone? That's where they get you at. But you guys, make sure that you guys like, subscribe, get notifications, tell a friend about the show, and most importantly, subscribe to one of college football's fastest growing YouTube channels, college football's honesty broker and truth teller, because I'm not going to sugarcoat it at all. So the question is about Ty Simpson, because Ty Simpson got pulled out of the game by basically for injury, because on that run earlier, he got absolutely crushed. He got crushed. And he was the team's leading rusher today, 3 carries for 17 yards. It was that 9-yard run that he fumbled on, got hit in the ribs. You got to give him credit for keeping fighting. But what is the future of Ty Simpson? Because he can't go to the NFL. Well, he shouldn't go to the NFL draft at this point in time. That doesn't feel like that would be advisable. Feels like he needs another year of college football. But the question is where? Because you had Austin Mack come in today, and granted, he threw for 103 yards. It adds a different dynamic when you add a runner in there, and it's not like Indiana prepared for him. But if you're Ty Simpson and coach is like, yeah, we're going to have a quarterback competition this year, he probably going to be out. You're probably going to see him hit the portal in the next couple of days if that is the case. But if not, what does this mean for Alabama's future? Because Ryan Williams had 6 catches for 53 yards today. This is his first over 50-yard game in like 6 or 7 games. What's his future? Because Alabama fans are looking at him side-eye because he was 17-year-old Ryan Williams last year, and now it's going to be like, but he caught the ball well today. You do have to give the kid credit where credit is due. He caught the ball well today. But this is wild. This is the world of college football that we live in now. The world that we live in now. There are no, you know, easy games. And Alabama, 3 sacks today, 2 on the first drive. And it's funny because when you watch Indiana, their left tackle is super good, All-American caliber player. Their right tackle is a fish. He is. And the right guard at times as well. But they do such a good job of staying on track and winning on first and second down that then third down becomes easier. The way you beat Indiana is very clear. It is very obvious. You have to win first down. You have to. Because if you can get them in third and long, they don't want to be in that because they can't hold up in protection on third and long situations on a regular basis. They can't. So then you have to make sure that you are doing that at getting them in third and longs. You have to. Um, I'm going in the chat, Alabama fans. Lord have mercy. All right. So, yeah, Fernando Mendoza, Cooper are legit. This team, the coaching on this team is elite. Elite. I mean, if I were a team, I would be trying to get Indiana's defensive coordinator to be able to leave. Because that is the way that you can break Kurt Cignetti down, because his team has had so much continuity. Bryant Haynes has been with him as defensive coordinator for quite some time. That's how you get him. You start chipping away at the at the things that make it great. But you think about him as a coach. He was at Alabama. Didn't have a lot of upward mobility there in terms of being a play caller or anything like that. But mind you, that's not what it, that's he's a CEO. Then he goes to what, a Division II school, then goes to Elon, then goes to James Madison, then goes to Indiana. He learned how to win. He learned how to be great. This is exactly why Bob Chesney is going to work at UCLA. He's a builder. He's built out of the same stuff as Kurt Cignetti is. And this is an Indiana team that when you get to the stats in college football and you're looking at the team stats, you're like, hold up, defense, second best defense in college football, only giving up 10.8 points per game, which went down again today. They are fourth in yards given up per game. It is incredible. And they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th in sacks. They have 39 sacks on the season coming into this game. That is a recipe for success and being one of the best third down teams in college football and one of the best third down stopping teams in college football. That is the recipe. That's the recipe. And Alabama should be ashamed of themselves. Their fans who came all the way out to California, they had to be looking like, when they went for it on fourth down. Can anybody explain to me why Kalen DeBoer went for it on fourth down at the beginning of the second quarter, down 3-0? Can anybody explain that to me? Come on, man. All right, but now it is time for me to spike the football a little bit, okay? I got to spike the football because I was all over this game. And you know who did not believe me? Alabama fans. So we are going to do a little screen share session, okay? We're going to do a little screen share session where Alabama fans, this is the comment section of the Alabama Rose Bowl blowout incoming, okay? So everybody knows I called it. Blowout incoming. Let's see what the comments have to say. I said, who wins Alabama or Indiana final score? Boy, I haven't seen this much disrespect since 92. He's doing way too much, and I'm a dog fan. I believe Alabama's going to put belt to ass on Indiana. Oh, you sure about that, Bruce Taylor, 78-71? And remember, this is not a call-out session. This is just a session because when I get it wrong, when I screw up, I get on here and admit it because I'm college football's honesty broker and truth teller. I get on here and tell it. And then Scott Mack 007. I think it's over. The Tide is in rebuild. You better look at the early 9 enrollees that are practicing, blah, blah, blah. Yep. Bama will get 2 picks on Mendoza. Wrong. Okay. 30 for 30. Alabama from that's a good one. Oh, Rollis, someone comment under this so I can come back here Thursday and laugh at the doubting clowns. All right, I'll give you one. Hi. It is spike the football time. Dude, you should be a head. Oh, man, appreciate it. I give you some love there. Indiana's front 7, don't worry us a bit. You sure about that? This is fun. And then Paul, and I see y'all in the comments. You right. Paul Feinbaum don't know squat. He tried to tell you about Arch Manning. I told you Arch Manning was going to struggle coming in this into this game. Alabama 28, Indiana 17. This is what I'm saying. It is the college football mind that was broken. It was broken. Alabama needs to look at this game like they're playing Georgia or Ohio State. Man, it wouldn't matter who they were looking at if they don't want to play Georgia either. Georgia put belt to ass too. Come on, man. Look for explosives from the backfield in the game from Bama. Wrong, wrong. I guess you this was funny from Professor Green 4471. Well, damn, I guess you got it all figured out. No need watching the game. Laugh out loud. Roll Tide roll. Bless your heart. Hi. Come back. I told you. I told y'all that this was going to happen. That these fans, they are thinking with the old college football brain. The old college football brain, where the SEC was the best conference in college football. It is no longer the best conference in college football. It is not. The Big Ten has now established itself as the best conference in college football. You had Ohio State, Oregon, and Indiana. Ohio State just lost to Miami. Miami was a very good football team. But you got to give Indiana credit too. They broke the streak. They broke the streak of teams having byes not being able to win. That's the streak that they broke. So congratulations to Indiana for that. Oh boy, I can't wait to come back to every single channel and tell y'all you shouldn't have doubted them. Hey, we here. We here waiting. And I love y'all who to subscribe to this channel because it is about honesty. It is about keeping it real. This guy really comparing the Oklahoma's front seven and IU. Exactly. Yes. Yes. Oh, George, you don't realize it's gonna rain. Monsoon rain. Well, it didn't. But even if it did, does that look like it would have mattered? Alabama's O line outweighs Indiana's D line by 57 pounds per man. That means Alabama is about to resurrect their run game on a sloppy road. Why would anybody think? Why would anybody think that that was the case? And we got a super chat in here, so we're going to get to that immediately. Last year's sequence, Alabama took a timeout with 8 seconds left in the first quarter, so the opponent would have the second play past the TV timeout. Same thing here. They took a timeout on fourth. Alabama did too. Got played. 100%. I do not understand, and I appreciate that I beat IGT. It makes a 0% chance. 0% chance why he went for it. And you are right. Indiana took the timeout first. You are 100% right. Indiana took the timeout first because Alabama came out to go for it. Then Alabama lined up like they were going to punt, and then they came up, and then Alabama called a timeout. And then they go to the and it just didn't make any sense. It just didn't make any sense. I cannot for the life of me understand why they were so desperate in the beginning of the game down 3-0. Oh, should have never put Bama under the underdog. And here is where I feel, and we got more and more comments. Look at all the comments. We shall see. Bama will keep shocking the natty group. I hope all these people come back because I love you. And this is why I'm trying to get down there to interview Kalen DeBoer for this offseason as well. So y'all make sure that y'all tell them, because I've gotten so many big time head coaches on the channel. Y'all, I know y'all want me to, because I asked them the tough questions. I asked them the good questions. It ain't just all layups and rainbows. Great interviews. Now, keep that same energy from your last video. You keep bringing up the Georgia blowout like Indiana would have done any better. Yes, they would have. Bama had 13 start. Man, Bama had everybody healthy. LT Overton was back. Ryan Williams can catch the football again. It does not matter. They can't run the football. You were never going to be able to beat Indiana without running the football. And this is why I know that SEC fans think that SEC football hung the moon, and it is, but this is a different day and age. This is a different day and age. The transfer portal and NIL have nerfed every single advantage that the SEC had. Now players are going to Indiana. They're going to Oregon. This is why USC's having a little bit of trouble. They're going to Arizona State with Kenny Dillingham. They're going to go to Michigan. They're going to go to Florida. They're going to go to LSU. Stockpiling talent the way that you did, it ain't happening no more. So Alabama fans, you should be nervous every single game that you play from now on. It wouldn't matter if Nick Saban was your head coach. It would not matter. Yes, you would probably win more games because you would be able to run the football. But the idea that you're going to be able to rattle off national championships like you did, it ain't happening. Nobody is going to be able to do it. Forget Alabama. Oregon can't do it. Georgia can't do it. Michigan, Ohio State, none of them rattle off, 6 championships in 17 years. It ain't happening. Mm-mm-mm. And people talk about, and this is a comment too from James Clark. Look at the scores of the games with Penn State, Iowa, Ohio State, and Iowa. People don't realize how talented Penn State is. Their defense was excellent. Their offense was buns. Iowa, one of the best defenses in the country. They just don't have an offensive system that can hurt you. Indiana could have lost those one-score games. Alabama is up there with them teams and their strength of schedule. The strength of schedule is based upon largely preseason rankings and then the SEC getting ranked against itself. Wins against Missouri and Tennessee, who ain't got no wins against teams with winning records. And we sitting here ranking them and then elevating teams like Texas A&M into the playoff when they didn't beat anybody in the top 7 of the SEC. Nobody. We got to be honest here, man. This is why people don't understand and they're here for college football because we got to be honest about it. Indiana hasn't blown anybody out with a top 15 defense. Well, they did it today. It will, like, people make way too much out of this strength of schedule thing because it is biased. There are other factors that factor into it. This is why you do have to listen to some of the advanced analytics. The advanced analytics love Indiana. They love Ohio State. They love Oregon. I think I said they love Indiana. They loved Notre Dame. They loved Miami. Come on, man. Come on, man. And I went back and watched the condensed version of Oregon Indiana game. I'm very shocked after listening to the pundits talking about how Indiana was so disciplined. I saw 5 or 6 false starts, numerous drops, and a pick 6 by Mendoza. Never really established a run game. Blah blah blah. Listen, that means that you didn't really watch the game. Indiana plays a soft schedule. They're in the Big Ten. There is no soft schedule, and there's 9 conference games. I'm just gonna keep scrolling. I'm not gonna read all of this. But you guys get it. You guys get the point. And there is a reason why. And it's not even about calling people out. This is about, I got Alabama plus 14 or more. This is about the disrespect of Indiana. This is about the disrespect of the Big Ten. These are not the old days, people. That's what I want you to understand, that these are not the old days. This is the new version of college football. This is the new version. What you used to know, it is dead. It is gone. It is not coming back. I promise you. And when you look at Bama, you're right. Georgia's the only ranked team that they beat that was even worth anything. That's a fact. So, yeah, and here's the thing. That is a great point. The SEC had 5 out of the 12 teams in the playoff when they really should have had 4, maybe 3. You put Texas in this field, they get beat up too. Vanderbilt in this field, they get beat up too. You could have put 7 SEC teams in this league in this field, they wasn't getting out. Georgia or Ole Miss is your best hope, but they got to go up against Miami next. And then you're either going to have to play Indiana or Oregon in the Natty. Bro, this is wild. All right, so let's talk about for a second. Um, is that why IU? Okay, here's the. Is that why IU is loaded with 3 stars? All that money can't buy heart. Listen, it is not the star rankings. It matters out of high school on some level, right? Because in the macro, 5-star players, the teams with the most 5-star players are better generally in the macro. But in the micro, an individual player can develop and be better than a 5-star player. And Indiana does not have a blue chip ranking over 50%, but there's a reason why they continue to win. Those players have developed and they're better than a lot of the 4 and 5-star players at Alabama is right now. I said, so you're telling me you like the Purdue Boilermakers over Arkansas? Arkansas don't got no damn defense. Maybe that might be a good football game. Arkansas versus Rutgers or something. Arkansas versus UCLA. That'll probably be a good game from this last season. That's what it would. And no, it is not just because Coach Cignetti is great. He has developed really good players, and the players are really good. You can have the greatest coaching in the whole world. If you don't have the horses, there's nothing that you can do. You are absolutely doomed. Um, you are absolutely doomed. All right, now let's talk for a second. Now let's talk for a second about Indiana and Oregon. I cannot wait for this football game. I cannot wait for this football game, and I know that Oregon has been itching to play them because Dan Lanning in that game, and I'm gonna talk about it in the preview. The preview will be out. What's today? Thursday. The preview will be out in 2 days. I was highly surprised with kind of Dan Lanning's messaging coming into that game. And really, after that game, I thought it was perfect. After the game, he was like, yo, our goals are still in front of us. We did not coach very well in that game. Our plan was bad. Yes, we didn't execute to the top level of our ability, but our plan was bad. Oregon abandoned the run. The whole pressure situation was bad. And now they're in a good spot. I love it. I think that this is going to be a hell of a fight in Atlanta. It is a true neutral site game for both teams, even though it's further away for Oregon. But I love it. And you guys, I will be back live after this Sugar Bowl game. Georgia versus Ole Miss. Y'all make sure that y'all hit me up on Twitter at George Wrighster. Hit me up here. Leave it in the comments, man. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your energy. Let me see if there's anything else in the chat that I need to get to. Put it in here right now before I hop off. It said Indiana by a touchdown. Ooh. Yo, so right now, coming like the early line is Indiana by 2.5 points. That's what the line is. Um, yeah, yeah. Indiana's going to be very active in the portal, And Alabama has to get, and Drixmus, yes, Alabama's line, yes, they're bigger, but they're slower. They got to figure out this offensive line situation together, all together, because it is not a tenable situation at all. But I will tell you, Georgia, Ole Miss, I picked Georgia to win. Kirby's smart. He knows how to deal with the layoff and the 25 days after last year. Indiana has now broken the streak, and we shall see how it turns out. But you guys, make sure that you guys like, subscribe, get notifications, tell a friend about the best college football channel around. The truth tellers are here, and I thank you. This is why we are growing. I mean, I'm so appreciative. Peace out. I'll be back in a little bit.